Welcome back. I'm Tim Adams with Tomato Productions, and let me first say Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you for sticking with us this long. This month we've been talking about additional equipment that you need beyond the basics that can make editing your own video content, producing your own video content a little bit easier. So this week we're going to be talking about the computer that you need to edit your content. Now I'm on the Mac platform, so you might be surprised to hear me say that if you're on a PC, which I know a lot of you guys are that are in business and in offices, then hey, you're probably going to be just fine. It's really more about understanding the platform and the software that you're going to be using rather than you need a Mac to produce good content. No, the things that we've been talking about in this series up until this point is more important in terms of producing quality content rather than, now that we've got all this content, we need to edit it so you can't produce good quality content on a PC. No. It's a tool. That's all it is. It's a tool. You find the right tool that works for you and you use it. So on the Mac side, you've got three basic kind of options that are kind of the top three editing software. You've got Final Cut Pro, which is what I use. You have Adobe Premiere, and you have DaVinci Resolve. Okay, you may not have heard of that one. I believe on the Mac you can also do Sony Vegas, but I'm not sure on that one. On the PC side, you can do Adobe Premiere. You can do Resolve as well. You can do Sony Vegas. Those are kind of the big three that I would recommend. Other than that, I mean, there's obviously tons of options out there, and you want to find the one that's right for you. But in terms of teaching yourself how to edit and how to use the software, probably the most used piece of software in terms of editing on the PC side is going to be Premiere, and that's going to have the most tutorial videos. It's going to have the most help content that is going to really help you learn that software very quickly. So that's what I would recommend. One thing I will also mention, since we're kind of talking about editing, don't go crazy with the transitions. It's very, very easy once you find the transitions that are included in just about any editing piece of software. It's very easy to just go crazy with different, crazy transitions, like wipes and rolls, and stick to cuts and dissolves. Different software developers will call them different things. A dissolve is very similar to a fade. Sometimes a fade, goes to a color. I mean, just play around with those two, but focus on the cut and the dissolve or the fade. Okay, don't get tempted and don't get enticed by the 900 other transitions that you have access to. The idea of a transition is that you don't want it to draw attention to itself. It serves a purpose of transitioning between one clip to another or one scene to another. You don't want to say, oh, hey, look at what I can do. That's not the point. The point is to produce content that is useful and relevant to the viewer. Your videos that you're producing or will be producing, it's not about what you can do technically. It's about the content that you're providing. And the second that you start getting fancy, and saying, hey, look what I can do with this transition, you're kicking people out of that experience of consuming that content, because now you've put a barrier in between them consuming that content and there's a very clear focus there, like we're providing this to you, to add value to your life, to add value to our relationship, whatever the purpose is there. Between you and the viewer, and all of a sudden you're kicking them out of that experience by saying, oh, by the way, let me show off. You get a mixed message there. So just do yourself a favor and stay away from it. There are places for wipes, there are places for some of those other transitions, but until you understand where the appropriate place is for those, just don't use them, because you might think that it's an appropriate use, and it very well might be. But if it's not adding to the content in some significant way, I would just stay away from it, because it's not worth losing somebody, a viewer, from getting the underlying message of that content that you're trying to share, just to say, hey, look what I can do. All right. So any other questions, shoot me an email. I'll be happy to answer them. If you want additional resources, maybe you know, some tutorial videos on a particular piece of software to kind of get you going, let me know. Be happy to provide that to you. So thanks for watching, and next month, which starts of course next week, we're going to be talking about marketing basics. So talking about how do we establish who you are and what you can do for your customers, kind of the meat of what marketing is all about. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching.